Today Show Los Angeles and the Disability Channel. And I'm so happy today. I have a wonderful guest on, Zazel-Chava O'Garra, Artistic Director of the ZCO Dance Project. She is a brain tumor survivor. She's an incredible woman, and I am so excited to bring her on today. And the Disability Channel helps with programs for people with disabilities, for the employment, and also for media training. So with that said, we're going to take a little break, and I'll be back with Zazel-Chava O'Garra. Hi, Zazel.
Hello, how are you?
I am so happy to see you and to be talking with you today.
I'm happy to be here.
I want to introduce you to everybody in the world because you are such a remarkable and incredible woman. I'm going to start out by saying you're from the Caribbean.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. You're a dancer. You've danced and modeled and acted with the best. One of my favorite groups is Alvin Ailey. I don't know if I've told you that, but it is. But you are just an incredible inspiration to me and to a lot of other people with disabilities. I thank you so much for the opportunity of dancing with ZCO.
Oh, wonderful to have you.
And I want you to tell me, like we talked yesterday about the Caribbean and about growing up there and what the expectations are there.
Okay, so thank you once again. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to introduce myself once again. I'm Zazel-Chava O'Garra, located in New York City, but originally from a very small island in the Caribbean called Montserrat. Montserrat has only 5,000 people on the island. It used to have 12,500 people. However, the volcano became active in 1995. And so most of the people left and came to the US or Canada or England because we are colonized by Britain. We don't have our independence yet. So many people went to the England. However, I have a very good relationship with my family there. My sister and I used to go there every summer, as children, and I used to go there up until I was in my mid-teens during the summer. And both my parents are originally from Montserrat, so I have a very, very good and strong relationship with them. However, I always talk about Montserrat, particularly now, because when I became disabled, I'm going to be celebrating 20 years after my brain tumor operation in 2023, January 11th, 2023, which I call my rebirth day. I'm celebrating 20 years after the surgery. However, after my surgery, maybe 3 months after my surgery, I was still in rehab and what have you. My family sent for me to come to Montserrat, for healing, because Montserrat is very therapeutic. It has an active volcano. So many people go to the Safria where the water is warm and it's warm from the volcano. So many people go there for healing. So my family sent for me to go to Montserrat, to go to the Safria and to soak in the salt water and to bury me in the sand because I suffered with paralysis after the surgery. So they felt that that would be a very good healing, a way for me to heal. And then also I had a massive scar on my head from the surgery. And so they said, okay, you have to go in the salt water. They said, Zazel, go in the salt water, put sand on your head. And my uncle buried me in the sand because if you can move or try to move your leg in the sand gives you, puts pressure on your leg. So it's like natural physical therapy. However, Montserrat is an island where they thrive on working. Everyone works. you have to become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a nurse. You don't have to, but that's what you aim for, because that's a very solid job. It has a status, and you earn a good income. However, when I became sick, the first thing was, oh my God, you're not going to work? You're not working? And
Wow.
that was the first question. Zazel, you're not working. Zazel, you're not working.
Oh no.
I'm like, well, I don't think so. I can't work right now. And they're like, well, how long are you going to be like that? How long can you walk like that? How long are you limp? And I couldn't answer them. They're very direct. They're in your face, like with all these questions. And I would walk around the island. And my family's house is on top of a mountain, so it's really great to I would put my brace on and have my cane, and I would practice walking down the hill.
Hmm.
And it was really hard for me, but I felt it was wonderful. I was with nature, and I would see the animals, the donkeys walking by me, the cows walking by me, and what have you. So I loved it. But as I was walking, all the cars would pass me, and everyone's heads looking out the window, looking at me, um,
Wow.
walking, because you just don't see disability. The only time people really, not that they don't love you, they love and care for you, but the hospital there is very small. It's very, very small. There's no MRI machine, no CAT scan. If you're sick, they'll give you 2 aspirins and tell you to drink some rum. So um, they acknowledge you. Okay, when you get old, if you're a senior citizen, yes, you're becoming slower. You might have various ailments. Yes, that's something they are accustomed to. But if you're young, just as
Mhm.
myself when I was there, then they don't see that. You just don't see a person so visible with a disability. So I would tell my mom, Mommy, if I didn't have self confidence and self esteem, this would really affect me. Like, I would be riddled with depression. So although my family was very supportive, and they were, dealt with me with love and caring and empathy, they were very, they didn't know how to handle me because I had this disability. I remember one woman, she came to my house when I came back to New York, and my mother was like, Zazel, tell her what you're doing. And by that time, I had started to join a lot of disability organizations and the brain tumor support group, and the support groups within my hospital, and doing things with. I joined this organization that taught disability filmmaking, which was tremendous. And so my mother was like, tell her what you're doing. So I was telling this woman from Montserrat, oh, I've become a disability advocate, and I'm working with people with disabilities, teaching them dance, because I want to show others how wonderful it is to move despite my limitations or your limitations. You can
Right.
move with your heart, your soul, your spirit. Even if you could just move your head and your eyes, you're still displaying your energy and your love of dance to the audience. So I was telling her that, and she's like, Zazel, I thought you were going to be a star. And look at you. Look at you now. She said that to me directly in my face. I'll never forget that. Zazel, look at you. Look at you now. And I'm like, well, but I'm being very active. I'm being, I'm in the community. I'm working with other persons with disabilities, and I'm not ashamed or saddened by what happened. I'm still vibrant. I'm still
Right.
the Zell that I've always been. However, I told her, um, don't compete. I don't compete with my old self. And that's the most important thing, is to not compete with your old self. And that's what I told her. And I said, I will survive. I said, I believe in turning setbacks into comebacks.
That's fantastic. That's
Yes.
fantastic. So with that, we're going to take a break,
Okay.
and we're going to come back, and I want to hear your life pre your brain tumor,
Okay.
all
Sounds
that you
good.
were involved in, and then we're going to discuss what you do now, what we do now. Um,
Okay.
so we'll take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
all about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel of Detroit. Please tune in next time.
We're back, and I'm
Yes.
back with my friend Zazel. And I know that you were really active also for your brain tumor, and
Yeah.
you were modeling with one of the top agencies, Wilhelmina. You danced with top dancers and top companies.
Well, my dance career, I started dancing at a very young age. I'm 8 years old. Because my mother saw that I had all this crazy energy and I was a wild child. I was, she used to say, Zazel, you run out of my belly. You run out of my belly. Because I was always so, So my godmother told her, why don't you put her in a dancing school where my daughter is going to in Harlem called the Ruth Williams Dance Studio. And that just did it for me. I just love being on stage. We used to have yearly recitals at either Carnegie Hall or Lincoln Center. And, we'd buy all those, remember those costumes they used to put you in? I was taking tap and ballet, and I would have, tutus and my tap shoes on. And I used to love it. I mean, I would love seeing that huge audience and putting on this big smile and dancing. So the dancing was just in my blood. I just love putting out all that kind of energy and having fun and meeting a lot of great people. So then I left Ruth Williams and I went to a school located here in Queens where I live, called the Bernice Johnson Dance Studio. And at Bernice Johnson, she dealt with stars. I mean, all the stars went to Michael Peters and Ben Vereen, and it was extremely competitive. Everyone was, trying to be at the top. But at Bernice Johnson, that's where I met a teacher who helped me audition for the High School of Performing Arts. And I got accepted to the High School of Performing Arts, and that did it. That just put my life in a totally different direction. Being in that competitive school, and I was a ballet major, believe it or not, me with this bald head. I used to wear my hair in a bun with flowers and have my nice ballet skirts on and wearing my
that was a big thing. Yeah,
it was a huge thing. I mean, I was addicted to ballet. Addicted. I would go to the library and get books out with Margot Fontaine and Nureyev and Vereshnikov, and I would take classes at ABT. And then I got accepted. I don't remember which one I got accepted to first, but I think it was Dance of Harlem. I got there, and I was in the I can't remember what group. I didn't become an apprentice at first because it was so challenging. And Arthur Mitchell was, he was a very difficult person, very difficult. That's all I have to say. But he was amazing. I mean, he taught you like no other teacher. And this was the first time I dealt with a disabled teacher. She was one of our ballet teachers. Her name was Tana Gill Leclerc. Yeah. I don't know if you ever, she was married to George Balanchine. And she taught us, and because I was in the advanced class, and she taught us, and she was in a wheelchair. She was the first person who had polio, and she lost her mobility. She was in a wheelchair, and this was before dancing with a wheelchair became, accepted. And she taught us, she would wheel her leg underneath our leg in second position and put her wheelchair right underneath us. So we couldn't
Once a
drop her leg.
dancer, always a dancer.
Yes, she was brutal. We have our Arabesque, and she would wheel her wheelchair under our legs, and she would just do tandu, 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 with her hands. She was brutal. But in any event, I just loved being at Dance Out of Harlem, and it was very competitive. And then I went to ALE, and I was on merit scholarship there, and it was just so competitive, just being there and dancing with everyone and making friends, and studying Graham and Horton and ballet, and it was just wonderful. And after working with them for a period of time, I went to college, University of Michigan, and majored in dance. And once again, worked with some tremendous people. And everyone told me, like, why are you in college? You should be performing more. You need to get out of here. Yeah. But, I still pursued, college, although I was majoring in dance in an academic arena, which was very difficult. But I stayed focused. And
yeah, people don't understand. If I want to jump in 1 second, people don't understand that when you are a dance major, like I majored in dance at Mercyhurst University, you still have to take all your other courses.
Yeah, you have to take all the academic courses.
Yes, your philosophy, your math, your
math,
science,
English. Yeah, I mean, you have to take kinesiology. You have to take all of those courses. Yeah, I mean,
set people straight.
Exactly. I mean, it was very difficult because you're dancing, you're rehearsing, you're performing. I mean, I was out of my dorm at like 7 o'clock in the morning, going to rehearsals or being at the ballet bar by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very, very difficult. You didn't have a normal life, being in the School of the Arts. If you were a dance major, theater, or music, you were totally different than anyone else on the campus. So make a long story short, I had several different jobs within entertainment when I left school, I started to do more musical theater, and then I moved to Europe, and I taught dance in Germany for a while and started to do shows in Germany, and I stayed there for 2-3 years or whatever, which was tremendous. I met a lot of expatriates, persons who were from the States, but found more opportunities living in Germany or in Europe in general. And so that was great. That was just like an eye-opening experience for me. And then other things started to happen. And I was here in New York, and I got discovered by the beauty editor of Essence magazine. And one thing led to another, and I got my first cover of Essence magazine. They don't put normal models anymore on covers. They put all celebrities. So that was before my time. But that was tremendous. And that just, put me in a totally different direction. But although I was modeling, I still remained a dancer, because that was, that took my focus off of modeling, because modeling could be so competitive and grueling. So I always focused on my dance and acting and what have you, and still, went out on bookings and and continued my life. But then fast forward, I don't want to keep talking about that. Fast forward, I recognized after I was, with Wilhelmina, and I'd signed with a commercial agency, Cunningham, Escott and DePini, Slevin and DePini, and, was doing commercials and voiceovers and what have you. I realized as I was getting older that things were changing. And the business starts changing when you're getting older. They start sending you out to calls that are different. Like, oh, you could play a mom, or, they're not sending you to the things where you're the femme fatale anymore. So I realized, I said, oh, okay, Zazel, you might have to start transitioning into, what you want to do after you get older. And this is what I was thinking at that time. And then boom, my health started to change. I started to get tired and sleepy, and, to make a long story short, that kept going on for several years, where things were changing within my body. And then, lo and behold, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and that completely changed my life and put me in a different direction.
Well, I really want to say that we are so blessed to have you as a survivor and as an inspiration. We're going to take a short break, and then I want to come and talk to you a little bit about ZCO, Dance Project, and the wonderful company you've created.
Okay.
So let's take a short break, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Yay.
Hi, this is Dave Stevens with the Disability Channel.
An inability to break out. I'm sitting by the door on the second floor, losing my 7-year war. It's not an illusion, so why the exclusion?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about you. So.
You say you're a disability dynamo.
Joining me, and welcome to this beautiful Travelers Championship.
I only want one accolade from you.
So my story is unique, it's amazing, but it's not anything that you guys don't have inside of you. I'm not a hero, I'm not anybody special, I'm just this guy without legs that went out, and I just did it.
Stats outweigh the Democrats, the diplomats, and the bureaucrats.
This is probably your first interview down on the ground on your butt and stuff like that?
First time ever,
All
baby.
right.
Eliminate, invalidate, invalidate, invalidate.
Stay with us and the Disability Channel.
Hey.
This is my favorite part.
Yes.
Too, because I love ZCO Dance Project, and I'm so lucky from California.
Yes.
Dancing with New York-based dancers, and it's just so special to be able to do it by Zoom. And my friend Peggy Lane filmed me.
Oh,
and
yes, that's wonderful.
I got to work with you.
Yes.
So
and we're so happy to have you.
Dance company. It's a wonderful dance company. You have people with disabilities and without disabilities.
Yes, we call
Tell
that.
us a little bit how that started.
Okay, so to make a long story short, right after I got sick, and I was in rehab and what have you. I came home and one of the social workers told me I should join the Brain Tumor Foundation. And that particular year, the Brain Tumor Foundation was having something called the Brain Tumor Awareness Day, where they have it one of the large hospitals here in New York, NYU Langone Hospital. And she asked me if, do you want to speak or dance? And I said, dance? What are you talking about? I mean, I have limited mobility. And she said, no, you can do whatever you want. So I just took that opportunity and I performed in front of like 600 people, doctors, neurosurgeons, physical therapists, a huge audience. And when I was on that stage and I was dancing from a chair, it was a rebirth. I said that before, but it was a rebirth. I mean, here I was moving in front of this huge audience. And I just felt the music just like possess me. I just felt like, oh my God, I can move. I feel wonderful. And even though my movement was limited, I felt like I was moving full out. It was just a beautiful experience. So after that, and I received a round of applause, a standing ovation, I said, okay, you could do this, Zazel. You could really dance and you could have others join you. So I started ZCO Dance Project maybe about 8 years ago. And at first it was a small amount of us. It was about 3 or 4. And we had a work in progress performance at Gipney. And then that was well received. And then I did it at Dixon Place Theater, sold out performance. And, that year and the following year. And it's been a challenging experience, doing the administrative work and the choreography and hiring guest artists and dealing with the dancers and, finding rehearsal space and finding theaters and applying for grants. But this particular year, actually it started during COVID, I saw that you know, I've gained my strength through this company, and they've given me a voice. They've given me even more passion for dance and for theater than I ever thought I would have. We kept going, we kept performing and teaching classes during the pandemic, all through Zoom, having Zoom classes and having virtual performances being via Facebook Live and YouTube. And that was well received. And we did the outdoor Brooklyn residency, where they allow several performing artists in the city to utilize outdoor space to perform or teach classes. So that was great. And then this year, or last year, I started to apply for grants. And of course, I was getting rejected at first, but this year we started to get noticed and, you know, and have been accepted and received a few grants. So that's what my focus is for 2023, is to continue to apply for grants and, you know, have more opportunities for the dancers to just get out there and shine and show their dynamic souls and spirits and love for the dance and for, you know, just being on stage. Yes.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So how can people get a hold of you, like through social media? Like, is there an email
on
or...
Instagram with ZCO DP1 or Zazel-Chava, Zazel, Zazel, Chabah, or you could contact me on my website is ZCODanceProject.com, or my email is ZCODanceProject1@gmail.com. So I look forward to hearing from everyone. Yes.
Check out the videos on YouTube too under ZCO Dance Project, because they're phenomenal. They're really good.
Yes.
Zazel, this has been wonderful.
It's been great. Yes, great. Thank you so much, Donna. I really appreciate it.
My love out to you. Sending it.
Okay. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.